The starting order rule set has a special place in Sebastian Ogier's heart, and he definitely has some very strong opinions on the matter, and he certainly isn't the only WRC driver with these opinions. But most other drivers aren't usually leading the championship, so they aren't affected by it as much as Ogier. Why Ogier has a problem with the starting order rules? Well, right now the rules say that the championship leader has to open the road on Friday, because Friday's start list must be as the championship standings are. So first in the standings will start first on Friday, second will start second, and so on. For Saturday's start list, Friday evening results are taken and then reversed. So the pair that led after Friday will start as the last WRC car on Saturday, and the pair that was last on Friday will start first on Saturday. The same system applies for Sunday. The reason why this system angers Ogier so much is that because he's cleaning on Friday, he's losing a lot of time, which means he has to start further up on Saturday because slower cars start first. So you're basically handicapped on gravel rallies if you lead the championship, or even if you're second or third in the championship. But what does cleaning actually mean? Cleaning only occurs on gravel or snow. On gravel, the traction gets better with each passing car. That's because when no cars have passed, the road is still quite firm. And on that firm layer of gravel sits a lot of loose gravel. And loose gravel is slippery because it's like you're driving on little marbles. To explain it in simple terms, driving first on gravel is as if you had to run around your home, but there are tiny marbles scattered everywhere on the floor. You'd find it quite slippery and difficult. But your running has now cleared a little bit of the marbles for the second person, and the second person clears a little bit for the third person, and so on. After a while, the racing line will be clear of marbles and will have maximum grip. I would say the road evolves approximately until the 10th or 15th car, and then the grip stays the same and the road will only get rougher with each passing car. That's why sometimes we see that the second pass times are worse, just because the road gets so rough that you actually need to drive slower to stay on the road. Usually though, the roads are strong enough and won't get so rough that the second run times will get slower. On snow, it's similar, but a little different. On snow, the slippery effect comes when there's too much snow for the tire to clean. So your tire will be full of snow and snow slides very nicely on ice. It's the same effect when you have snow stuck underneath your boot and you try to walk on it. The other reason why the road evolves is because of the tires. These studded tires, little by little, are eating their way through the ice, and every passing car is making the ice more and more abrasive, which makes it better for later runners because their studs can hook behind something compared to the first runners who are driving on smooth ice. Now, knowing all of this, I think we can all agree that being first on the road is going to lose you time, and with today's rules, you're suffering from that time loss till the end of the rally. And if we look at the calendar which we had this year, we had 5 tarmac events, 1 snow and 6 gravel events. So in total, the championship leader is handicapped in 7 rallies. Yes, he has an advantage on tarmac, but your time gain on tarmac isn't as big as your time loss on gravel. That's why it's quite difficult to be leading the championship, because most of the rallies are driven on a loose surface, and you have to open all of them. So coming back to Ogier, his whining isn't without reason. Because of his magnificent speed, he has been handicapped most of his life. For a brief period, the qualifying stage was introduced to the WRC, where drivers would get one chance to set their best time on the shakedown stage, and based on those results, drivers got to choose their starting position for Friday, with the fastest driver having the first pick. The rule change was implemented in the beginning of 2012 and ran for 2 seasons until the end of 2013. The reason why the rule was scrapped was also related to Ogier. VW entered the WRC in 2013 and were so dominant in their first season that they won basically 70% of the events in the calendar, and because they were too good, the FIA wanted to implement the rule that basically would benefit the slower teams. But it's not 2013 anymore, and VW isn't even in the WRC anymore. Looking at it from a driver's point of view, the fairest you can make it is if you implement a qualifying stage. It's up to the driver to then deliver on the qualifying stage and then pick his preferred starting position. The funny thing is that the European Rally Championship has kept the qualifying stage format until this day, and nobody has had any complaints about it really. And why would you complain about something that makes it fair for everybody? The rules we have right now in the WRC are very difficult for the championship leader, but they actually were worse. When Ogier began his career, the championship leader had to clean on Friday, and the overall leader in the standings had to open the road the next morning. These rules are fairer in the sense that if somebody benefits from a starting position on Friday, he will lose time on the next day and will be back to square one. But it's more complicated than that. The drivers who were leading on Friday evening actually slowed down or even stopped on the last stage of the day to drop to second or third in the standings to not open the road the next morning. So sometimes you had to open the road for 3 days straight and not even get on the podium. Sebastian Loeb won all but one of his titles with this rule set, and Ogier can't complain too much because he has 8 titles to his name. But Ogier kept a lower profile regarding this topic in the recent seasons, but it's very good that he brought it back up this year because maybe the FIA will bring in this rule change now that Seb is gone. Right now the WRC has so many drivers that are capable of winning rallies, and the gaps between the drivers are smaller than they ever have been. That's why I think it should be a positive to see the FIA bring back the qualifying stage, so all the drivers are on a level playing field, and the fastest driver wins the rally. In all honesty, we're long overdue for this rule change, and I hope we'll see it in the near future.